Hello everybody, today we are going to discuss about the uses of simple present tense. Now, there are three tenses in English, that present tense, past tense and future tense. And each of these tenses are divided into four. There is simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense and present perfect continuous tense. And in today's class, we will discuss about the uses and the formula of a simple present tense. Simple present tense. Now, what's the formula? That's subject plus verb plus object. So this is a formula of simple present tense. It begins with the subject, then the verb and the object. Now, I'll give an example. I write a letter. I write a letter. This is a sentence in simple present tense. Now, this is a subject. The subject. Now, what is subject? The doer of the action is called the subject. The doer of the action is called a subject. It is followed by the verb. This is verb. So what is verb? The doing word. For example, eat, sleep, drink, play, watch. These are all verbs, doing words. And then a letter could be said to be the object. I write a letter. Simple present tense. Okay. Now you can say the same. You write a letter. You write a letter. You, the subject, verb, and the object. A letter. But then when it comes to he or she or it will be writes a letter. Writes a letter. Here it is writes. In the previous sentence, it's the verb is in the simple form write. But here we have added an extra yes here because he, she, and it are called a third person singular. Third person singular. Okay. Now he, she, and it. He, she, and it are known as third person singulars. The rule is when the third person singular comes as a subject, yes or yes should be used with the verb. Here it is writes. Understood? He writes a letter. She writes a letter. It writes a letter. Because these are all third person singulars. Now instead of he, a position can come. My brother, my father, my friend, my mother, my sister, my girlfriend. And it is used two times with the objects and with animals. I have a cow. It gives me milk. So my friend writes a letter. My sister writes a letter. It writes a letter. The pen writes well. I bought a pen yesterday. It writes well. Now imagine my friend. My friend writes. My friend. Here it is my friend. If it is my friends, then it would be right. It is not right. It is right, not right, because we said third person singular. Only when the third person is in singular form, we use yes. When it is in plural form, there is no yes. Write a letter. Fine. Now again, I'm coming to the first sentence. I write a letter. I write a letter. It has a corresponding question, that is, do I write a letter? Do I write a letter? Question mark. Do I write a letter? Understood? So every time you make a question in simple present tense, it has to be formed with using do. Do I write a letter? It is an yes or no question, therefore it has two answers. Yes, I write a letter. No, I do not write a letter. Clear? No, I do not. And when you come to the he writes a letter, he writes a letter, the question will be does he write a letter? Question mark. Now see here, it is does because it is third person singular. So when the when question is formed for third person singular, we use does. Be careful, here it is write, not writes. So does he write a letter? That is because write plus does is equal to writes. Write plus does equal to writes. Therefore, when does is already present in the sentence, you write only writes, not writes. Fine. Okay. Now the next one is, when do we use simple present tense? Simple present tense used mainly with the habits. That is, I get up at 6 o'clock every day. That's a habit. I go to church every Sunday. I go to temple every Saturday. I go to mosque every Friday. That is your habit. So every time you communicate a habit of yours, use simple present tense. Number two, to express an action that is going on at the moment of talking. For example, I study English grammar now. That's an action happening at the moment of talking. Then when you speak about eternal truth, scientific truth, or universal truth, the sun rises in the east, honey is sweet. Now this is very important here. I'm going to give a he is an honest person. Now the question is, which tense is this? So many of us make a mistake by saying it as continuous tense because there is is here. Well, he is doing a work. She is going to school. We are playing football. So we have doubt that when is or am are comes, it has to be simple present continuous tense. This is not present continuous. This is simple present tense. For example, I am happy. Which tense is this? It's a am, but it is simple present tense, not present continuous tense. Okay. So once again we tell you, we clarify: subject, verb, object. I write the letter. I is subject. Verb write is a verb, and the letter is object. Subject means the doer of the action. The action run by the subject is verb. Then when it comes to he, she, and it is writes a letter because it is known as third person singular. For example, my friend writes a letter. My friends, here it is a friends, or it is only right because it is friends. Friends is not plural, it is not singular, it is plural, therefore it is only right. Now the question is, I write a letter. Do I write a letter? Yes, I write a letter. No, I do not write a letter. He writes a letter. Does he write? Okay, be careful, it is right, not writes. That is because write plus does is equal to writes. So does he write a letter? So every time when does is present in the sentence, you don't add s or es, but only the first form writes. Okay.